Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. And I gotta say, this is a really fun episode of NXT. We had a battle of the behemoths and Dijakovic and Keith Lee in a match that I cannot wait to talk about. The women's tag division that's kind of blooming in WWE got some shine, both with a tag match and an appearance by the women's tag team champions, Boss and Hug, Sasha and Bayley. We had a great women's main event, as there's a lot of talk about the women's championship. In fact, two of the top contenders had an altercation tonight, and in the main event, we had Shayna Baszler, the champion, in a non-title bout against Mia Yim, a return from the first Mae Young Classic. And so, yeah, the women really showed out in a big way. We got some main event development, with Johnny Gargano and Ciampa Daddy. I'd say this NXT had a little bit of everything. Hell, we even had like an Undisputed Era and Velveteen Dream interaction. So, damn, they hit us with everything. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ashton, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I'm curious what you mean when you say that we had an altercation between two top women's contenders. What was that all about?
Well, that was Bianca and Io, their backstage segment where they were arguing, which would later turn into them having a number one contenders match in, I believe, 2 weeks. Winner goes to take over New York. So they're really...
I didn't realize that happened tonight. I thought that happened last week. I must have missed it tonight.
No, yeah, it happened tonight.
Well, I don't have that written down in my notes. Damn.
Well, regardless, what'd you think of the show tonight?
I enjoyed the hell out of it. I really liked tonight's show. We got two great matches. The Dijakovic Lee match was great. The main event was great. We did have one other match that I have some complaints about, just because, well, I guess I shouldn't say I have complaints about, but I'm just not as, high on it. But that's what developmental is for, right? But anyway, yeah, it was a really fun show. I definitely feel like some of the interviews were amazing and really knocked it out of the park, and specifically the one that you were referring to with Velveteen Dream and Undisputed Era. I fucking loved that interaction. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward. Let's get into this.
All right, well, we open up as always with heat of the night. I've got no heats of the night, man. I felt this episode of NXT kept a great pace, so much so, in fact, that when I looked at the clock during the main event, I had registered that it was the main event. I didn't know if we were going to get any more stuff beyond Mia and Baszler, and they had snagged the main event spot. So I'm good for tonight. You have any heats of the night?
No, I don't have any heats of the night either. This is a really great show. No glaring negatives to me.
All right, then let us get right into our NXT review. And we open up with Johnny Gargano, a FMK Johnny Champion, and probably once again known by this crowd with how fickle they are, Johnny Failure. So Johnny Gargano...
Well, they did chant both Johnny Failure and Johnny Champion at him at varying points of this promo.
Yeah, they don't know what they want. They've made that explicitly clear, as far as I'm concerned.
Which is why I really wish NXT would stop leaning into the DIY reunion thing.
Absolutely. But, Johnny, pretty much his promo was, together I became Johnny Champion, and, just talking about how great it felt and how amazing NXT is. But then when he lost it, and that was the Johnny Failure chance, and Johnny, Johnny really is... I know he's not necessarily a babyface right now, but he does a really good job of protecting that territory to be able to go back to, because he doesn't snap at the crowd even here. He acknowledges their chants, but he says, I think I like it when you guys chant Johnny Champion just a little bit better. And he says that I realized that my success was because, and then Ciampa Daddy's music hits. He comes out, this beautiful bald fuck, so full of wisdom. And, he shuts down the crowd immediately because the crowd was chanting a champion. He's a champion. He's a champion. And Tommaso's just like, look, save it. He hates these freaking people. And he essentially says to Johnny, look, I offered to help you last week, and you didn't take it. When you and I are on the same page, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, we win. And when you're on your own, Johnny, you lose. And then he brings up the Dusty Classic. DIY, Johnny, on the same page. If we can win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the winning team gets a Tag Team Championship match at TakeOver New York. and we can, rise from TakeOver New York. We can end it as tag team champions, DIY together once again. And he sticks his hand out. Johnny drops his mic. He shakes Ciampa's hand. So tentatively, we've got this DIY reunion. There are some parties that don't like it, which we'll get to in a second. But before we get into that, what did you think about this whole segment?
Yeah, I as far as Ciampa goes, this really is I am struggling to even speculate on where they're going with this because of the fact that they've been called up. It's such a weird, because like if they weren't called up, I would be like, oh, this is so great. Whenever they lose in the Dusty Classic, Johnny's going to be able to turn on Ciampa, do the same thing to him that he did to him. We'll be able to get the story kind of come in full circle, and Johnny will be able to win the NXT title at TakeOver New York. It'll be perfect. But now that they're called up, I really don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on, dude.
Although I will say, we saw plenty of Aleister Black and Ricochet this week, but we didn't see a lick of either one of these guys on the main roster this week.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We were supposed to get Johnny Gargano versus Cesaro in a one-on-one match. That didn't happen. They didn't do anything on Raw either. They just were not seen on the main roster at all this week. So literally the week after they were quote unquote called up, they just weren't on TV at all.
Exactly. So yeah, I really want WWE to get their house in order. I want to know what's going on with NXT and what's going on with the call-ups.
I wonder if there was like a negotiation between Triple H and Hunter and Vince, where Triple H is just like, now I know you said you wanted my 4 best guys, but I can make you a deal. I'll give you these 2 amazing guys, and they can be a tag team or singles or both. They're that damn good, but let me have these guys so that I can finish their story. And then after WrestleMania, you can have one of them. And then wait a few months for me to get the title off of the other one. And then you can have the 4th one too.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind that at all. We have, because normally, dude, here's the thing. You and I have been watching NXT now, along with our fans, for a long time. And we know that stories don't always get completed. I mean, the one story that I felt like NXT was building towards at the time, Ty Dillinger and Bobby Roode when he was NXT champion, obviously that unceremoniously got cut short because, Ty had the Royal Rumble appearance. This is a story, though, that we've been in it so long and the emotional investment is so deep. You need to conclude it. This is one of those times where I would really have misgivings about it being cut short due to a call-up. So I think if Triple H negotiated under such terms, I would be totally cool with that because this story needs finality. And then because it's about the story, I wouldn't even mind, presumably Gargano in this situation, to be a transitional champion. Do
you know what would be beautiful?
What's that?
In my opinion, at least, is if they did the story the way I just described, where, whenever they lose in the DRTTC, they have Johnny attack Gargano, or they have Johnny attack Ciampa, turn on him, challenge him for the title, beat him for the title at TakeOver New York. Ciampa debuts on the main roster the following Monday or Tuesday, depending on whether they want him, SmackDown or Raw. Or maybe he does both because that seems to be what NXT call-ups are doing these days. And then we don't see Johnny on the main roster until like the Royal Rumble. Like Johnny gets a genuinely strong NXT title reign out of the way. He holds it until TakeOver War Games 3 in November or whatever TakeOver happens to be before Survivor Series this year. He drops it on that show, gets his rematch at the TakeOver before Rumble, loses that, and then his actual proper main roster debut is in the Royal Rumble match. And then he sticks. And his debut is like while Ciampa's in the ring, and he immediately goes after him and attacks him.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I love that. And yeah, I mean, you've got a huge long form story here that to me is even bigger in some respects than Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And if they,
the thing is, like knowing WWE and knowing that like Vince wants these 4 guys, like all of them, I wouldn't be surprised if Gargano won the title at TakeOver New York, dropped it on the following TakeOver, which I believe will be in June. It would be the weekend of Money in the Bank. And then lost his rematch at TakeOver Brooklyn 5, assuming that's still happening the weekend of SummerSlam, and then was just on the main roster following that period.
Right.
He'd probably still work main roster stuff between now and then, But yeah, like I definitely feel like Vince is just going to be a stubborn prick and be really, really like adamant about keeping both Johnny and Ciampa in rotation on the main roster.
That's going to be quite dicey. But in the
Yeah,
meantime, yeah. In the meantime, though, we have this segment. DIY again seems to have reunited for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and that does, later in the night get confirmed because the final 4 teams were revealed, and DIY was a part of it. What's funny though is that Candice is not at all pleased about this because I think coming back from this segment, we have them kind of exiting outside the arena, and Candice is just kind of staring at Johnny and Ciampa. And what I love about Ciampa, dude, whenever like Candice gets involved, he just makes himself scarce in the situation, but he lets his face do like all the talking with his like expressions and everything. And he's just like, well, clearly a loop's been formed and I'm not in it. So Johnny, we'll talk later. He just kind of leaves. And Candice is just like, well, I hope you know what you're doing, but like really exasperated. Like I don't even know what to do with you anymore. I don't know what to say to you.
I love their little interaction when they were exiting the arena, and Candice is just like, "Hey, whatever. I'm just gonna let you handle it. I hope you know what you're doing."
And you know what? Good for Candice.
And Johnny just fires back with, "Trust me, I got this."
Yeah, like good for Candice. She needs to be more than just, Johnny's wife. She needs to focus on her own career. Her saying whatever. I would actually like to see. We've been talking about women that we'd like to see get revamped in 2019. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo is kind of at the top of my list. I was seeing Rachel Ellering tweeting today, and I'm really excited to see her again. And yeah, I'd put Candice on the list as well. Candice has a lot to give, and I'm tired of her just being kind of a passive participant / observer in this story between Johnny and Ciampa. She's got her own career to think about, and I mean, she's been through enough. She thinks it's madness, and Johnny's just like, trust me. Almost Jake Roberts-esque, trust me. That trust is kind of in short supply, but we'll see, if Johnny can earn that trust. In the meantime, though, partner, what came after this?
Well, before we went to a commercial, we did see Mia Yim doing some kind of like shadow boxing to prepare for the match with Shayna, so I thought that was interesting. I wrote that down. And then in between the in-ring segment and then DIY leaving the building with Candice there, we did also get a Kathy Kelly interview with Ricochet, where he talks about how, as long as Aleister Black is like fighting alongside him, he doesn't really care what the numbers are. Like he doesn't mind going 2-on-2, 2-on-3, 2-on-4 against the Undisputed Era. And if the Undisputed Era are in the Dusty Classic, he wants them to be in it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dusty Classic is looking freaking legit. I can't wait to see this tournament unfold. I think it's one of my favorite things that NXT does because really one of the biggest things that NXT has accomplished for me as a fan is make me fall in love with tag team wrestling all over again. And that's really epitomized in the Tag Team Classic. So it's really looking stacked this year. I can't wait. Any thoughts about the Dusty Classic, partner, before we move on? Anything you want to say about it?
I actually we'll get around to more Dusty Classic talk later. I actually have the bracket typed out in my notes, so we'll talk about that and we'll make some predictions and stuff. But until then, we do get our first match of the night, which was really just, I even have in my notes here that it was kind of a sloppy match. It was Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah versus Tainara Conchi and Xia Li. And I think the highlight of this match for me was Tainara literally shouting at Vanessa, "Latinas do it better, baby!" And then arguing with a fan about it who said, no, they don't.
Man, first of all, I got to thank you because, you saying the match was sloppy, I'm glad I'm not alone in that because I was watching this and I'm like, is it me or is a lot of this stuff coming off bad? And honestly, in my head, I rank the workers in this match that I liked from best to least. Really like Zaya's hot tag. I thought Aaliyah actually didn't look too bad. I feel like she's kind of understated on the roster because she doesn't have as much of a presence as the other women.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the ring, she's solid. And I would honestly put Vanessa above Tainara. Tainara,
absolutely. That's like, I am a little less certain about who I would place above whom in the Vanessa Bourne versus Aaliyah comparison, because I'm not really sure who out of those two would be 2 or 3. But Xia is the clear number 1 and Tainara is the clear number 4.
Right.
So
yeah,
I really, like, I even have in my notes here, Tainara is still super duper green.
Oh yeah, dangerously so to me. 'Cause some of that stuff looked bad. Zaya,
Yeah,
I
like when
think,
she was on the outside and Aaliyah like did like a weird looking like PK or tried to do a PK, but then like stopped her foot as if Tainara was supposed to grab her foot, and Tainara still fucking sold it, and then just like as she was grabbing her face to try and make it seem like she just got kicked in the face, she then proceeded to no sell it and grab Aaliyah's foot and drag her off the apron anyway, and then continued selling her face as if she'd just gotten kicked, even though Aaliyah clearly stopped short because Tainara was supposed to grab her foot.
right. Yeah, it was.
Tainara is a
pretty
mess,
rough.
dude. Like she really, I want her to succeed because really, like, we don't have any representatives from Brazil as far as women go. Like, as far as dudes go, we do have Adrian Jaoud, and we have, oh God, what's the other guy's name? The taller guy. I forget his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
There's a Z in his name, I think.
Cesar Bononi.
Cesar Bononi. Yeah, thank you. I see teamwork. I mentioned the Z and you nail it almost right away. Yeah. Cesar Bononi is the other Brazilian guy that's representing Brazil. But we like it would be really nice if we got a female from Brazil to represent that country as well. And Tainara has an amazing look, but holy shit, does she not do anything else well other than look good?
I'm gonna make a suggestion that I'm probably gonna be like, no, John, that's stupid for. But you know, I do like to try and use all the resources that NXT has at their disposal. I mean, Tainara is very clearly where she's supposed to be, and I want to make another point about Zaya. You know, while I'm talking about Tainara, so don't let me forget. But I think because she's so green, if I honestly think, because the two things she does well, and you could even argue that it's well in the it's so bad it's good territory, like it's a guilty pleasure, is her facial expressions. Like this woman was made for the meme generation. With some
and not even like to me, like that's way over the top to the point that it needs reined in majorly.
And see, that's why I said like you could even put the qualifier so bad it's good, because I agree with you, it's over the top as fuck. But like I get that kind of enjoyment out of it. I honestly think she'd be better as a valet while she's working in ring to polish. And
I mean, there was a point that we kind of might have even thought that she would have been like almost like a valet figure for the Undisputed Era because she helped them win that match, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. And you mentioning the other Brazilians, you know, Jaoud and Cesar Bononi, you know, if they became a tag team even temporarily and she was their valet, like she would be able to still have a presence on NXT.
The Alexa to their buddy and Blake.
Exactly. You know, she would be able to showcase her personality and work on that as well. Because like you said, a lot of it's over the top and needs to be reined in. And then behind the scenes at the actual, you know, developmental aspect of the performance center, she can work on her in-ring and become more polished and less great. And then when it's time, you know, you slowly reintroduce her back into the ring. Because I don't want to give up on Tainara. I'm just like you know, with the representation. I think she has a great look.
I feel like she is like below even like Lana bad in the ring.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would because I'll tell you what, dude. Why I said I was so glad you brought up the word sloppy was I was thinking it while watching it, and I was only thinking it because I was watching Tainara perform. Yeah. Like she was the most glaring instance of it. But
she's the most glaringly sloppy of the four. But I think I'm gonna have to sign on to what you said earlier about Vanessa kind of being like the next notch above her as far as still being a little sloppy and a little green, but just not as glaringly sloppy and green as Tainara.
Yeah, and the thing,
Aaliyah, honestly, out of these four women, Aaliyah felt the most polished to me in the ring. Like Zaya was more exciting and more impressive with the hot tag and stuff. But as far as just purely like, who would I trust to not injure an important main roster figure in a match if someone came down to NXT to have a match with them? It's Aaliyah.
Yeah, Aaliyah's really been. I want to make 2 points here about Zaya and Aaliyah, respectively, because I feel like we've said enough about Tainara. And really, when it comes to Vanessa, all I have to say is that's another woman with an amazing look. And I actually do like the idea of the gimmick of her like being the Vision, like this Vixen type heel that like knows she's breathtaking and just kind of, you know, flaunts that in a heelish way. You know, it's a classical gimmick. It's a very straightforward gimmick, but there's a reason why those are kind of timeless, especially when done right. So I think she has promise too, in a similar vein to Tainara, and just needs more polish. When it comes to Zaya and Aaliyah, I feel like she's been around for a minute, and she's definitely that performer that they rely on when they want to get newer acts over. Like I know when Bianca was on the come up, one of her earliest matches was against Aaliyah. Aaliyah's kind of that reliable hand in the division, and you're right. The stuff she does look good. I don't think she has much of a character or personality, but I don't even know if that's so much a fault of her own or, again, just her position in the hierarchy of NXT, again, with her being a reliable
Little
hand.
column A, a little column B.
Exactly, because I don't think a hand is really known for getting mic time. That said, I was really actually happy for her to get this win. I think it's so rare to see her win on NXT TV, and her and Vanessa, they're a unique team. I remember a while back, it seemed like they wanted to put Lacey and Aaliyah together, but now, Lacey's obviously been called up, and Vanessa, I guess, is kind of taking that spot. And, the women's tag division, there are two good things to come out of it. One, it gives the women something to do that doesn't involve, Ronda Rousey or the atrocious booking of the SmackDown Women's title at present. And two, for the really green competitors or greenish, but with a lot of promise, and this is where I'm going to transition to talking about Zaya, it's just a great comfort zone that you don't have to work a whole match by yourself, and you're still getting a quality education. So I am excited for the women on that front. And Zaya really enjoyed her hot tag here. And with how hard she's been working in the PC, according to Sasha and other people, I really want to believe that she can be something, dude. Of all the talents in the ring, I'm definitely the most excited about her. And I feel like her stuff gets just a little bit better each time we see her. So I really enjoyed the hot tag. I'm hoping that she keeps putting in the work. I'm hoping that the stuff continues to look better and better each time she executes it. And that, maybe by the end of this calendar year, we'll have a more well-rounded performer. And I'm really excited about her future and her potential. And we'll see how far she can take it. But ultimately, Vanessa and Aaliyah do get the win. I will say, though...
And they pinned Zaya. That's what was confusing to me.
Yeah.
Full-blown, heat of the night or anything, because at the end of the day, none of these women are necessarily going to be, women's championship contenders anytime soon. So it's you have plenty of time. If you want to make Zaya one at some point in time, you've got the time to kind of rehabilitate her image after taking this L. But it's still weird that they basically had the team of whatever's pin arguably the best prospect in this match.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest, again, not trying to rain on their parade here, but I didn't really care for the double team finish of Aaliyah and Vanessa.
I actually didn't see it. I missed it.
If I'm not mistaken, I may be remembering this incorrectly, but I feel like Vanessa had Zaya's face pressed against her knee, almost like in a cravat style, but really smushing it down. And then Aaliyah did kind of like a neck breaker, but then it kind of drove the back into the knee of Vanessa in a way. It was weird. And they got the pin off of it. So, my personal favorite double team finisher is still the sick knee from Sydney from the Iconics. Of course, Sky Pirates, though, with their stuff, that's quickly becoming a favorite. I just wish we would see it more often. But yeah, that double team finish is kind of weak sauce to me. But regardless, Vanessa and Aaliyah do get the win. Is there anything else you want to say about this?
I don't think so. I think we can move on. And up next, we had the Velveteen Dream thing in the parking lot with from Undisputed Era.
Oh, dude, I just want to say one thing, and then honestly, I want you to take the reins on this because I know Cole is your guy, and you do justice to Undisputed Era far better than I do. But I just have to give Kyle O'Reilly his props before I forget him coming in. Because, Velveteen Dream to start, they were asking him, oh, how's your week been since winning the North American Championship? And he's like, don't you mean to ask how has the North American Championships week has been with its new experience? And he's just, talking about how excited he is to be North American champion, how great it is for the championship to have the Velveteen Dream. And then Kyle O'Reilly of Undisputed Era, because Velveteen hears them walking up. He's like, oh, look, if it isn't the Velveeta Dream. This man, let me just say something before I hand it off to Ashton here, because I didn't want to give a full segment breakdown, because, again, I wanted Ashton to have this. But Kyle O'Reilly is fuck national. This man is a fucking cosmopolitan treasure. The whole fucking globe. Kyle O'Reilly is a gift to the entire earth. This same man that brought us Peter Dune has now given us Velveeta Dream.
Velveeta Dream.
I fucking love it. So, dude, take it away, man. What did you think of Velveteen Dream and more importantly, Undisputed Era here?
Well, I really enjoyed the interview segment here. It wasn't even really a full-blown interview. Dream obviously is going to just do great things. He's a natural on the mic. And you already kind of talked about what he said. And then, of course, Undisputed Era show up. We get the Velveeta Dream line. Cole tells Dream that he's going to take the North American title from him. Dream says such big words from such a little man. And of course, Cole is all offended and uppity. And he's just like, oh, whatever. And then Dream's just like, I wonder how big your mouth would be without your entourage. And immediately Roderick Strong is just like, we are best friends, not his entourage. It's just so good. Dream ends up just walking off on him, and then we get like Cole and Kyle O'Reilly shouting out at Dream, like,
everyone has time for Adam Cole.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I gotta say too, man, because you already know for our past TWitWoW awards for 2018, I gave Undisputed Era my faction of the year. I think what makes them so fucking good on that level to me is not only that they can be serious and back it up, because I mean that faction is stacked. I love that they can do comedy and do it so damn well. Because like when you're able to do all of it, that tells me with that level of versatility, I can put you in any feud, any situation. Now, I bear in mind the adage, just because you can doesn't mean you should, but I could, and this faction would make it work. I fucking love that these guys are able to laugh at themselves because they know when push comes to shove, they are one of the most legit entities in WWE right now. It is amazing, dude. More talents need to be like this. It's
dude,
incredible.
Absolutely. That's something we agree on strongly.
I think so many people, and look, it's not going to work for every performer. Obviously, I feel like I shouldn't even have to say it, but I do feel like there are a lot of talents that could benefit from this kind of mentality that are so protective of, their gimmicks or whatever. Hell, even Aleister Black in his feud with Andrade. Now, we didn't always agree with it, but he'd even kind of let his hair down, making short jokes at Andrade and stuff like that. It's good to show a bit of levity.
Sure, the short jokes were at Zelina Vega, to be fair.
Yeah, short jokes were at Zelina Vega, and I feel like he also took a few pot shots at Andrade, but regardless, like, just the idea that you can add a little bit of levity because you know that you're a badass and nobody's going to fuck with you when it counts. That, to me, goes a long way. That is sports entertainment. And Undisputed Era, I mean, it's a fucking art form, and they excel at it. It's amazing.
100%. Yeah, totally, dude.
Yeah. So what came after this?
Well, after this, we got our second match of the night, which was amazing. Dominic Dijakovic versus Keith Lee. What a fucking match this was. Holy shit. Like, both these guys do freaky athletic stuff and also do freaky powerful stuff. And I just love it. And, the match did end in a double count out, but I appreciated that it ended in a double count out because it preserved both these guys in, their sort of credibility. I dig that.
Dude, my one big note, because I don't take notes for these. I'm not as studious as you are. I take more mental notes. But the one thing that I kept saying to myself, like, I have to say this on the podcast tonight because I really wanted to make a point of it. Keith Lee needed this so fucking bad to me.
Yeah.
Like, I am.
Because he's felt very much like a background character.
He's felt. Oh, I mean, dude, first of all, you're absolutely right. But just to kind of expound upon your point and to substantiate it, you're talking about since this guy's come here, he had a match with Snaggletooth Reeves, which that's just not fucking impressive. In one of his first, like, bigger high-profile matchups, he lost to Cassius Ohno via a low blow and then, the rolling elbow. Now, I want to say that he might have gotten his win back over Cassius, but I don't know if he ever did. But, like, people needed to be reminded of how fucking great Keith Lee is. And this match did it for him. This match did it for him in a major way. Dijakovic didn't need this match as much because he has the undefeated streak that he's riding right now. And so they are really investing early in Dijakovic, which is awesome. But it never hurts to make two talents look good at the same time. I just really wanted to emphasize how much Keith Lee specifically needed this. And he looked amazing, dude. This is the Keith Lee that you and I were really excited about when we heard that NXT signed him. This is the Keith Lee. You, me, definitely Javaris with how he was raving about it on Twitter, and now he's here in the chat. Great to see you, Javaris. He was excited to see it. I think anybody that knows what Keith Lee is capable of from PWG and elsewhere, this was their moment tonight because finally they got this dude back on track with an updated theme, no less. They got vocals for him now, and I kind of dig it. So I think they're kind of rehabilitating Keith Lee a little bit. And Dijakovic, dude, I mean, you give these guys 15, 20 minutes to take over New York, you're going to make 2 stars in one fucking night.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's that simple. This is amazing.
Bingo.
Yeah. So I have nothing else to say, man. If you have anything else you want to say, we can
I
move
have
on.
nothing to add to what you just said. Yeah, this was a great match. Like, I really love some of the athletic stuff that these guys do because, like, it's just it's really the spectacle of it. Like seeing these two absolute behemoths do create like landing on their feet after a fucking monkey flip. Like, what the fuck? Who does that? Like
Amazing.
you see like there are so many smaller guys in the WWE who take monkey flips and don't land on their feet. Like that makes it a bigger deal.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Abso-freaking-lutely.
I just love it. I just love these guys and I loved this match and dude, I'm 100% behind them giving these guys a one-on-one match at Takeover New York. That'd be fucking incredible.
Give them that stage and let them make themselves. Because as soon as
Exactly.
that match ends, dude, you've got either two
Standing O.
Yeah, standing O, and you've got in one match in the aftermath either two prime North American championship contenders, or if you're really going to be bold and if you can do the writing for it, I'd even say two world title contenders. Why the fuck not?
Well, yeah, and you need world title contenders with everyone getting called up.
Exactly. Exactly, dude.
So, yeah.
All right, what came after this, my brother?
We had our final four teams in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic revealed. DIY, Black Ricochet, Mustache Mountain, and Lorcan and Birch.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this field. Should be an exciting Dusty Classic, and I guess our more substantive discussions will take place about it when it actually gets underway starting next week. So I am really fucking stoked about that.
I can't believe it's that close already. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be freaking awesome. Like I said, one of my favorite things that NXT does. And yeah, man, I got nothing else to say about that. So unless you do, we can move on.
Well, here are the first round matches. We've got Mustache Mountain versus Street Profits, Lorcan and Birch versus the Forgotten Sons, DIY versus Undisputed Era, and Black and Ricochet versus the European Union.
Yes, dude. I love it, man. I'm really hoping.
Any predictions?
I hope that Mustache Mountain goes over Street Profits, but I don't know. NXT seems like it's going to have a renewed interest in Street Profits. DIY is going to win their first matchup, no doubt. And I feel like Dusty Classic always likes one makeshift team every year to go a bit farther than they probably should have. So I'll even say that Ricochet and Black will have some early success in the tournament. What about you? You have any predictions?
Yeah, I was definitely going to pick Ricochet and Black to win. Yeah, that first match against European Union, which also means, but are they going to? Well, no, because then it would come down to them versus DIY. So, I mean, based on the fact that that Black and Ricochet have been on the main roster and DIY haven't, at least this week, I guess I'll pick DIY to win there. And then we've got Mustache Mountain Street Profits. That's kind of a toss-up. I would prefer Mustache Mountain, but I think you're probably right. They really do have like a renewed interest in the Street Profits, and they've been more aggressive lately, so I'll go with them. And then we'll go with Lorcan and Birch. And then we'll have Lorcan and Birch beat Street Profits, and then I guess beat Black and Ricochet. I don't know. I really don't know where to go with this. This is like such a weird field to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad that European Union drew the short straw, having to face the star-powered pack team of Black and Ricochet. But the only positive is sometimes you need one match to really stake your claim. And if they give those two teams time, like if that would be the main event of a Dusty Classic devoted episode of NXT, European Union would fucking kill it. Like I'm actually really excited about Bartel locking it up with Black and Ricochet respectively, especially.
Oh, yeah.
And Eigner is, I mean, we've called him Mini Cesaro. This is one of the few times that he's really working with top tier talent. I think before this, like the biggest thing he had done was get an upset win over Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
So it's really cool for him that he's doing this. So even though I expect them to be eliminated right out of the gate, which I love these guys, I really hope they have the opportunity to show out because they have a lot of fucking promise. So I'm excited for it.
Absolutely. All right, then we get Sasha Banks and Bayley back in NXT for the first time in like 3.5 years.
Yeah, this was beautiful, dude.
This was great. This is really cool. So, really, the thing is, though, like as far as the promo that they cut, it really wasn't too substantive. It was literally just them, like really like pandering, going for the nostalgia pops and stuff like that. And the only real thing that they announced was that maybe next time you see them in NXT, they'll be defending the titles there.
Yeah. It was pretty much like, going back to the stomping grounds, getting a hero's welcome, and then, like you said, just declaring that, yes, we will be defending these belts on NXT, which means my dream of Sky Pirates locking it up with Boss and Hug, has been revived. And we're seeing more NXT tag teams come out of the woodwork. I've been seeing on Twitter that Mia Yim and Bianca Belair are now a tag team.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah, we saw get a win tonight. Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley actually tagged Reina Gonzalez. I think Rhea wants to tag with Reina to go after, which I personally think that Rhea deserves a better partner, but
right though.
Team Kick. I mean, Dakota Kai is waiting to get healthy, and
yeah, Tegan is too. They're both recovering, brother. They're both
yeah. But and then and then if they get healthy, that'll be another great addition. So again, adding NXT was the best thing you could have done for this division, because whether you like some of the makeshift teams or you loathe some of the others, because again, I know we're kind of mad on, Aaliyah and Vanessa and freaking Rhea and Reina, but
Rhea deserves so much fucking better.
She really do.
Reina Gonzalez. Ugh.
God. I mean, with Reina, you might as well just try and win the tag titles by yourself. You'd have a better chance anyway. But
where's Nicholas? He'd be an improvement.
Yeah, really. I wonder if Casey's going to find herself a tag partner. And
I feel like she and Candice have teased teaming up.
See, now that'd be a cool combination. I wonder who we could get with Deanna to get in on this shit.
I
don't know. But I mean, again,
Lacey Lane.
Either Lacey Lane or, I mean, again, Rachel Evers is available. So
that's a good option too. That's a really good option.
So, yeah, it really does breathe a lot of life into this division, and life is what it fucking needs if it's going to be a sustainable concept beyond Ronda Rousey's presence in the WWE. Because it'd be fucking hilarious at the moment, like Ronda steps out, we deactivate those titles, which I wouldn't like to see happen, because I do think it's a good idea in theory.
Yeah, they somehow managed to have an even shorter life than the extremely already short-lived original WWF women's tag titles.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ. So I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for the champs. I'm rooting for the championships, and I'm rooting for the division that's coming together. And I think is going to be informed in large part, if they really embrace it, by these NXT teams. So really exciting stuff.
I think you're getting your hopes up only to be disappointed on that one, brother. I do think that they are going to try and make a women's tag team division really like happen and really kind of work, at least for the first few months. I really don't expect NXT to be heavily involved in it at all, though.
Well, getting my hopes up and being disappointed, that is pretty much the most succinct summation of my fandom that I could possibly have heard. So, that's fine with me. We'll see what happens. But for now, that's all I've got to say on the situation. What came after this?
Sad but true. Sad but true.
Indeed.
After this, we had our main event, Mia Yim versus Shayna Baszler, and goddamn, was it awesome.
Dude, this was so good. But you know what? I feel like I've been talking a lot lately tonight. I want you to go first on this. What all did you like about this match? Your overall thoughts, all that good shit. Take those.
I liked pretty much everything about this match. I love the way that both women really did a great job of selling their long-term injuries. I fucking like. I am the way that you are a sucker for like chain wrestling and amateur style. I am an absolute sucker for people remembering to sell injuries long-term. I love it.
Yes, dude.
I live for that shit.
2 points that I want to make right out of the gate, and then I'll volley it back to you, because, again, you love this shit, and then they really gave a masterclass on it as far as I'm concerned. One, right out of the gate, don't mean to jump the shark here, but, Shayna does ultimately get the win, but she looked so strong here. She needed this fucking match. I was talking about the match that Keith Lee needed. I feel like Shayna needed a match like this to show that she doesn't.
She can win by herself.
Exactly. She doesn't always need Jessamine and Marina, but backpedaling a bit just to kind of expound upon the point that you love, like the long-term selling. I love that for Mia, it was the leg, which you take out anybody's leg in wrestling. It's
and really not just the leg, but specifically it seemed to me like it was the ankle, which is like that's even worse than if it was just the leg.
Exactly, and yet Mia working on Shayna's hand for not only the Kirifuda clutch, but almost like an escape door if she got caught in the clutch. Yeah. It was like, it wasn't just targeting a body part. It really felt like a chess match between two intelligent competitors. Yep. And I love that.
You live for that shit too.
I do. Yeah, I do. And matches like this to me perfectly illustrate why certain fans like Catch Wrestling on Twitter, you know, one of my favorite follows in the wrestling Twitter sphere, love and stand Shayna Baszler so freaking hard because she really like she's so good at what she does, and Mia is such a believable and fiery and vulnerable babyface. I don't know, man. Are there any specific points in this matchup that you want to highlight that really just got you thinking, like, man, these two are killing it right now? Is there anything that really stood out to you from this contest?
Yeah. Well, when Mia got back in the ring and after, oh God, I forget what she did, but she had Shayna backed into the corner. Shayna was like selling her hand, and Mia did like a click, click, boom, like she was gonna charge in and do like a cannonball or something, and she literally couldn't even run to do it. Like she tripped over herself, like, and it was just brutal to watch. But it was
Yeah, man.
a great moment in the match.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think that came off so freaking well. I love, too, one moment in the match where Mia seemed like she was going to like escape because she had like the hands bound and the wrists clutched, but then Shayna countered into like a heel hook of sorts. That was some great wrestling. I mean, this was just, again, it was a masterclass. These women killed it in the first Mae Young Classic. They killed it again here. You know, a match like this, you could very easily set up a story even like 6 months from now or however long from now, because, you know, clearly NXT has other priorities with Io and Bianca, and just have a feeling that Kyrie's going to reassert herself, you know, because of her relationship with Io and Shayna. But if you really wanted to make Mia a contender down the road, you go back to matches like this and you put it in the fucking highlight reel, because she really gave the champion an amazing fight. And again, times of extreme vulnerability. You know, Shayna did the ankle stomp. I know, Paul, that kind of took him out of the match a little bit because Mia was straight up telling Shayna, "Don't you do it. Don't you do it." And then getting stomped. But it just showed the viciousness of the champion. And again, it's something that I missed from Baszler, because I feel like because of her recent booking, she's kind of been typecast as like this champion that can't win without help.
And you know what, though? I think that this match showed that it's not Shayna who can't win without help. It's specifically the opponents that she has needed help against, that those opponents are just that damn good that she needs help against them. Because, like, she beat Mia Yim in the Mae Young Classic in 2017 without help, and she beat her again tonight without help. So it's like, it's not so much like she can't beat anyone without help. It's that she specifically cannot beat Kyrie without help. Kyrie, like, and that's been proven time and time and time again. The only time she's ever beaten Kyrie without help was one episode of NXT. One time. And it's so funny because she went so far out of her way in the build-up to their rematch at Evolution last year to be like, I didn't, like, Kyrie didn't win that match. She didn't beat me. I lost. I screwed myself over. And yet the more times we see them go against each other, the more it's being revealed that Shayna's one clean win over Kyrie was the actual fluke in their series.
Yeah. Kyrie, Bianca, and you best believe sooner rather than later, Io's going to be out of that list because she pinned Shayna recently. And you know she's not going to want to fuck with Shayna with Io without help. So
and that's a big reason, though, too, why I was annoyed that Shayna needed the help to beat Bianca, because like that's WWE or NXT really going out of their way to be like, Bianca is like one of the greatest threats to Shayna's reign, and I just don't see Bianca as being on that level yet.
Right. Yeah, kind of lacks the believability for you.
Yeah, like that's why you can even hear like my expression on live reactions when the Duke and Shafir came out. I was like, really? Like, you need help from them to beat Bianca Belair? Like, I like Bianca as a performer, but like credibility wise, it just did not connect for me at all.
And yet, they've put her in that class. And yet, though, it makes Shayna, just to kind of bring it back, it makes her such a fascinating character to me, because this woman is legit. I mean, you see her grapple.
She's legit as hell, but she's also insecure as fuck.
And see, that combination always intrigues the shit out of me. Those that are as legitimate as they come, and yet everybody knows it seemingly except them.
Yeah.
And they have to compensate, psychologically and egotistically 10 times as much, being like, oh, yeah, I'm the greatest, when really you're just saying it over and over because you're hoping one day to convince
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a great freaking story. And I feel like WWE never really minds these stories for all they're worth, but that's a wholly separate commentary. And the finish of this match I thought was so intelligent too, because she gets Mia in the Kirifuda clutch again. Mia tries going for the hand again. That's how she escaped it the first time. And then Shayna wraps her leg in such a way to protect her hand and really
she
inhibit.
wrapped Mia's arms into the grapevine that she had.
Yeah, and it just really inhibited Mia's movement and her potentiality, to counter. And she taps out. And what I like too from Mia, she stayed in the hold a little bit, but not excessively long.
And she even did the no, wagging her hand, no, I'm not going to give up. And then maybe 5 seconds later, she tapped.
Yeah. So great match, great fucking storytelling on both sides. And again, it was a match that I think Shayna needed, and certainly doesn't make Mia look bad in defeat in the main event. This is going to be part of her future NXT video package when she's challenging for the title at a takeover. They're going to reflect back on this.
Man, I hope that does happen. I really do hope that Mia gets to be to the point that she's challenging for the title at a takeover.
I mean, she's got the fanfare, it seems, and she's definitely got the ability to carry to me a takeover match. I don't know.
I would buy her challenging Shayna at a takeover, not now because she literally just lost to Shayna clean, but I would have bought her challenging Shayna to a takeover match more than I would have bought Bianca, because Shayna Mia is a super legit in-ring competitor, and we already saw how amazing of a match she could have with Shayna in the Mae Young Classic a couple years ago.
Right. So. And just a really fun main event. Great shine for the women. Again, the latter half of the show really seemed to emphasize the women in some parts. And again, we know that in 2 weeks, Io and Bianca are going to have a number 1 contendership match. Winner goes to take over New York.
God,
so
please, Io, please.
We're going to see, man. We're going to see what happens. But in the meantime, do you have anything else to say about this main event?
Let's see. I don't think I have anything else to add. I think we pretty much touched on everything that I had to say. So, yeah, let's move on. All
right, guys. Before we get to our next segment, very quickly, check out the TWitWoW Facebook page. Follow Ashton on Twitter. His pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule for the month of February. He updates the schedule month to month. February is literally the last day of it is going to be tomorrow. So if you ever want to know what recordings are on the horizon for TWitWoW, that's Ashton's pinned tweet. He has all of our recordings. He'll add some, he'll redact others, he'll move others around as needed. And if you want to stay on top of all that, this recording got removed, this recording's happening at this time, the best thing to do is to follow Ashton on Twitter and keep your eye on that pinned tweet. So that's Ashton's pinned tweet. Follow me on Twitter. My pinned tweet is to collect your Q&A questions. Q&A is tomorrow. That is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you donate to the Patreon, which I'll get to in a second, you're permitted up to 5 Q&A questions. If you don't donate to the Patreon, you only get 3 Q&A questions. So YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, best places to submit your questions. You can divide your questions up however you like and ask us virtually anything you want. It's fine with us. So get those questions in if you haven't. It's always a fun time. Again, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time, TWitWoW Q&A. Beyond that, guys, our Teespring store, we have a variety of merch. We have TWitWoW specific merch. I'm a TWitWoW guy. I'm a TWitWoW girl. This feels relevant again since he's come back as a babyface. Kevin Owens, because he's a father, damn it. And in his WWE exclusive promo, he even mentioned his family a lot, which makes it doubly relevant. Yeah. And just a bunch of other merch too on the Teespring, so be sure to check it out. And then finally, the TWitWoW Patreon. Guys, the way Patreon works, we're currently sitting at $81. The more money we raise, the more content we live react to in a given month. I mean, you guys know that our goal is $120. If we get to $120, we live react to 3 hours of wrestling every week of the following month. And the way we've decided that, in the old days of us having Patreon, it would be a specific thing. Oh, you get us to 120, we'll live react to Progress or SmackDown Live. It is more democratic than ever before. Ashton always leaves an open field, month to month. Hey, guys, what do you want us to live react to? Between SmackDown, Impact, 205 Live, NXT. If you think it's probably on the ballot. and you guys get to vote, and then the winning thing, that's what we live react to for that month. So again, we are currently sitting at $81. If you want to broaden your options, if you're like, oh, you know, the more money they have, the more options I have to choose from, the best way to make that happen is to donate $3 to join the TWitWoW Discord. It's a great fan server. You know, Ashton and myself are on it, as long as the most passionate TWitWoW fans. And there we talk about, you know, Raw, SmackDown, movies, video games. I even saw some political talk in one of the tabs. So if you can talk about it.
Yeah, we've been talking about the new Pokemon Direct today. They announced the Gen 7 or Gen 8, actually.
Gen 8 class, yeah.
Gen 8 games are coming out, man. Holy shit. The starters are adorable. My personal favorite is the little grass monkey looking thing called, I think it's called Grookey. It's so cute.
Yeah. Now I get the Paul reference. I knew that was familiar. I'm like, wait, what is that? So yeah, guys, if you want to talk about it, chances are the TWitWoW Discord is the place for you. So again, $3 for membership. And that is the TWitWoW Patreon. So we greatly appreciate any donations. Again, the more you donate, the more options you have, and the more content control you're given. Oh, and of course, the big thing, I almost forgot to mention this. For those that donate to the Patreon and maintain a Discord membership, not only do you get access to the server, you also get content control. You guys know I use a very straightforward formula. If you donate $3 and you maintain that $3 donation rate for 10 months, in your TWitWoW account, because everybody gets a TWitWoW account when they start donating, you'd have $30. Now you can use all 30 of those dollars, like all at once, to get us to live react to a 3-hour show of your choosing. Is just one example. We have done plenty of Patreon requests. I feel like we've been doing quite a few of them recently that you can find on the channel. Just recently, we live reacted to 3 Walter matches, which were all fucking excellent. If you want to kind of get an idea of how we approach Patreon live reactions. So yeah, guys, if you can donate, we'd greatly appreciate it. I think it's a win-win-win-win. And hopefully we see you there. So with that said, let's get to our main event segment of this NXT review, high spots and low shots. Oh, man. You know, for me, I'm going to take the very straightforward route with low shots. I'm going to say my low shot is the team of Tainara Conti and Xia Li. I like Xia. I definitely think she has an upside, and she is in the perfect place at the perfect time with WWE having their own state-of-the-art performance center to really develop her talents. Tainara is terrible right now, but hopefully she can kind of find, you know, her finger on the pulse of this whole thing. But regardless, they both lost tonight to Vanessa and Aaliyah. They are going to be my low shot. Who's your low shot, bud?
Yeah, no, that's pretty fitting. Because you did take the loser of the worst match, basically. I guess that kind of relegates me to taking somebody that I still really, really like, and am kind of sad about having to make my low shot, and that's Mia Yim, man, because she really put up a fight, but that ankle stomp really fucked her shit up, didn't it?
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Yeah, man.
She did it, girl.
She did. Oh, she did it, and she brought it back. But yeah, so Mia, great outing for her. Great matchup. Nothing more you can say that, but she did lose in the end, to your point, so I think that's a great pick. For me, high spot. High spot's actually difficult this week.
Maybe for you.
Well, damn, make me insecure. Fuck. Jeez. No. God damn it, I lost my train of thought. No. Because yeah, you know, I know there are some routes that I could go that are really easy and really straightforward, but I kind of don't feel like it in a way. So you know what? I'm gonna say my high spot. I'm gonna say my high spot's Keith Lee. Because you know what, dude? Fuck it. I know it was a draw. I know he didn't win, but I know sometimes we can take a liberty with what high spot means sometimes. And again, he really needed this match. This is the best he's looked in my mind since he's come to NXT. And
yeah, this is the perfect high spot for you this week, I feel like.
Yeah, no, he, especially with, because I do it far more than you do, to be fair, but I definitely stretch the definition of a high spot. And to me, if you just had a good week and you reminded people how fucking great you are, like, dude, just in my personal corner of the world, which I know is a very, 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 very small sample of the internet entire, and especially Twitter, a lot of people were raving over this match and just raving over, you know, both guys, but Keith Lee got a lot of that love. And I think it's love that he needed, and I think it's love that brought him back on track.
Yeah, that's a great feeling, too. It's like, I've known how great this guy is all along. Well, jackasses.
I think Keith Lee in that one match not only made a lot of converts, but he reaffirmed in a lot of already fans like you, me, Javaris, just how fucking good he is. And that reaffirmation, you know what, dude, screw the logistics. Yeah, it was a draw. Yeah, he didn't win a championship or anything like that. But this was a match that kept his career afloat and kept my optimism that he could be a main event player intact. So Keith Lee is going to be my high spot this week.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that. I love that decision. Yeah, that's a great choice. You know what? I'm not even really gonna waffle too much. I'm gonna go with a slightly more obvious choice, and I'm just gonna pick Shayna Baszler because you even mentioned it earlier. She proved that she could pick up a win still without getting the help from Duke and Shafir. So that's a big enough deal in and of itself, you know.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Shayna Baszler makes all the sense in the world. And of course, I didn't want to take it like away from you because that's always like your thing on TWitWoW. But of course, honorary high spot has to go to Undisputed Era this week for that quality promo work. Velveeta Dream and Everyone Has Time for Me. Oh, and we are best friends. We are not an entourage.
I love that.
3 lines in one promo. Most people.
And then at the very end of it, I am so mad right now.
Wait, they actually said that? Adam Cole actually
Kyle O'Reilly did, yeah.
I didn't catch that. 4 quotable lines. Most
he
people
said like, "Grr, I am so mad."
Most people are lucky to get 1 quotable line in a good promo. Undisputed Era got 4. These people
just drop them like it's nothing.
These guys were made for the internet age, Jesus, in the best possible way.
Yeah, they really were. They really were.
I love them so much. Puts a fucking smile on my face. But with that said, guys, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment on this video when it's done processing. What did you think of Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic? It ended in a double countout. Do you want these guys to have a rematch at TakeOver New York? Are you more of a Dijakovic fan or a Keith Lee fan, or do you equally love both guys? I just have a lot of questions specifically about that match. Who from NXT, outside of like the obvious answers, but like which teams in NXT that are being formed in the women's tag division are you having your eye on? Mia and Bianca, who I know we didn't see them as a team tonight, but they've been kind of sharing that on Twitter. Aaliyah and Vanessa, Sky Pirates. What teams do you really want to see in NXT make an impact for those women's tag titles? Let's see, what else do I want to ask? How do you feel about DIY being in the Dusty Classic? How do you feel actually about the field of the Dusty Classic this year? Are there any teams that you wish would have gotten in? Are there any teams that you're kind of disappointed with their match situation? Like I said with European Union, they drew the short straw against Black and Ricochet. They're probably going to be eliminated early. What do you think about the field this year? Do you have any predictions for early winners? And please, no spoilers if you know. Maybe refrain from commenting in that case. But just talk to us. Be sure to like the video. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Subscribe to your new favorite wrestling podcast if you haven't. And click the bell icon for notifications so you never again miss any of that TwitWoW goodness. And with that being said, we will see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for TwitWoW Q&A. I already ran down the rules of, who gets what in Q&A. Non-Patreon donors get 3 Q&A questions. Patreon donors get 5. Where to submit them, how to divvy them up, all that stuff. So it is on you now. Get those questions in, and we will see you all tomorrow at 7. And until then, folks, tune in and peace out.